everyone, you're cooking with Poshnoshjosh today. As you can see from the apron, I'm going to cook a typical favorite British meal. Chicken curry, Karahi chicken. So here I have like dry spices. So I made a bouquet garnier of these spices. So that's going to now go into the oil for infusion. Okay, so I'm going to turn the heat up and it's going to start infusing. So let's look at what we've got here. 2 chicken breasts, 1 large onion, fresh coriander, 2 large tomatoes, a couple of green chilies, Kashmiri chili powder, turmeric powder, garam masala, salt, cumin powder. Here we have garlic ginger paste, water in case the heat in the kitchen gets too much, and it sometimes does, and we've got ghee as well in case we want to use a bit of ghee to enrich it finally. So here the bouquet garnier of the dry spices is doing its job. This tends to be items such as cinnamon, cardamom, black cloves, star anise. So these are what I call the hard spices. I'm using them because I want a good infusion to start. Okay, I'm going to have a bit more heat. I want a bit more sizzle. Yeah. Now obviously you can't tell on camera, but trust me, there are now aromas coming from this oil, right? So we're getting to a good starting point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it to infuse more, and while it's doing that, I'm going to crack on at this point with the onions. Okay? The onions are going to go in, and I'm going to lower it slightly because what I don't want is I don't want the onions to burn. I want them to cook nicely but not burn. So they are sizzling away. I'm sure you can hear the sound of that sizzle. For those that are hard of hearing, it's going sizzle, sizzle at this point. Okay? So it's sizzling away. Right. So let it still brown a bit more. It's looking good. I'm going to again, you must always keep tempering with the heat as you see necessary. I think it needs a bit more heat, so I've turned it up again. Okay. The bouquet garnier is sitting in there, and the first bits of browning of the onion has now started. Okay, but I'm going to allow it. I'm in no desperate rush. Okay, so it's going to keep browning. I'm actually using this is the wok, and this is like what they would use as what they call the karahi. So when you go to an Indian restaurant, they give you the little sort of pot on their table, and they say, oh, it's Karahi chicken. So it's the name of the pot that they're talking about. It's the Karahi pot. So the Karahi pot is there, and the onions are continuing to cook.
There's quite a lot of onion there. It's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, but in cooking you can never legislate in advance. No one can predict that onions are going to take 3 minutes as opposed to 4. So let them keep browning. Let them keep browning. Of course, as you probably have not guessed, but those that follow me probably know, I've never ever cooked this dish before. Okay? So this is something that I'm experimenting. Obviously, I've cooked loads of curries and I've cooked steaks.
Chicken curries or whatever, but not specifically this one. Okay? So I'm going to continue for it to keep frying away. It is. I would actually play some decent music for you, but I'm new to all this business about YouTube. I'm told that there's property rights and all the rest of it. So that otherwise we could have at least entertained ourselves with a little bit of pleasant music in the background. So unfortunately you're going to just have to bear with my dulcet tones for the time being. as well as the sizzling sounds of the karahi.
What do you prefer, the sizzling sounds of the karahi or my dulcet tones? Don't answer that. I prefer the sizzle, right? Right. I think we've got a fair bit of colour. I'm going to give it 1 more minute, actually. 1 more minute. I want a bit more browning. And then at this point I might well also remove the bouquet garni, as I call it, which is basically my dry spice mix. Okay? It's beginning to look nice. Yeah. I think this final minute has definitely done the job now. I can see that it's got that bit of coloration that I want. I don't want them to become crispy. I don't really want them to like caramelize into like a sweet chutney. I mean chutney. We're not trying to make a chutney to go for a picnic. We're trying to make a Karahi chicken here. Alright, so we've got that still going on. I think at this stage I'm gonna...
Alright, so we've got that still going on. I think at this stage I'm going to remove the spice mix. Okay, so that's out of the way now. Okay, right. Let's now crack on with the actual spices themselves. I'm going to cook away. I'm going to reduce heat. Chili powder, turmeric, garam masala, cumin powder, Kashmiri chili powder. That's looking very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Actually, I never used to use as much chili powder, but I was watching some of the videos on YouTube recently about street cooking, particularly in India, and I just realized that I'm being extremely shy with my spices. So I'm gonna, from now on, attempt to have a little bit more spice in it, and I want to see what the impact is within the final taste. The one thing that I don't actually, before I forget, because now it's an important point, and that's to introduce the garlic chili paste into this. Okay, now this is very, very important. I mean, generally people will go for the garlic ginger paste before doing the masala, but I don't really think that the order matters massively, as long as it cooks through enough. And actually I think that this is advantageous. I'll tell you why. Because whenever I put the garlic ginger paste before, it's splattered a lot. And I find that this time when I put it in this way, I'm not getting the splattering. Usually all this would be splattered in oil. So today, Mrs. Poshnosh, who normally kind of cleans up after me, will have a relatively easy evening, I'm suspecting. Okay, so here we go. So we got that going. I actually now think it's probably the right time to introduce the chilies, because we don't want raw chilies, so we want them to cook through a little bit. We want a little bit of freshness, so I think that will be okay. We can always top up finally with a few green chilies right at the end if we want. Okay, this I like. I like the smell of this, but I'm feeling that now's also the time to start introducing a little bit of ghee. Okay, I'm going to introduce the ghee. The ghee is going in, right? I haven't got a huge amount. I don't want to open the fresh tub. I don't think I need an entire fresh tub of it. But let's put the ghee going there. Alright, so the ghee is going. Now the thing that I'm going to do, which is different probably to a lot of people, is that I'm not going to cook the chicken in there. I'm going to put the chicken right at the end and kind of fold it in and let it cook gently just for a few minutes. Because I just don't think you can keep the succulence if you keep it boiling for ages. Again, people may have different views, and if you think that it's not, that's not the right way, then comment and give me your feedback. Tell me what I'm doing wrong or how I should improve on it. How you do it. So that's nice. Now what we can now do is I can add the tomatoes in. Okay? So these are fresh tomatoes. I don't really like tin tomatoes too much. And I don't like tomatoes as a general rule of thumb. I like a little bit of tomato, but not too much. That is smelling really nice. From the smell, I have a feeling we may need to introduce just a little bit of lemon. I can tell from this we're going to need a little bit of lemon. So I'm going to worry about the lemon a little bit later on. So I've got the ghee. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spoon a little bit of the liquid in here. And I'm going to mix it into the ghee. Right? So we get good fusion of the ghee. Okay, so you can see the ghee is now blended in with all the spices. There we go. The ghee is gone in. So now that is really beginning to kind of feel rich and nice. Okay. I'm going to leave the coriander more towards the end. I think I'm going to have to introduce a little bit of water, so I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to mix the water in, because we want a little bit more volume here. Okay, so again, the sound is changed from the addition of the water. So we don't, because otherwise, given the amount of volume there was of the liquid, that spice mix would have been a bit too strong. So what we're doing here is we're just kind of reducing its potency by increasing the volume. Now that is looking very nice, and that's smelling rather delicious. Okay, there's only one way of knowing. Yes, yeah. I'm gonna put a little bit of the lemon in as well now.
Squeeze into this. A little bit of lemon. You squeeze it. Yeah. You don't want to squeeze it in. A little pickers falling in, which you don't want. You don't offend anyone by having pips in there.
Yes, that's beautiful. Okay, so that is looking really good. So what we can actually do, I think it's cooked for a reasonable amount of time. I might just add, because I have a sneaking feeling that we need a little bit more sweetness. So I'm going to just put just a touch of tomato puree. I can tell from that it needs just a little bit more of balancing there. We've got tomato puree now, okay? I'm going to just put in a little bit of tomato puree in there. There we go. Tomato puree in there. Blend it in. Okay, now reduction of heat is needed. So that's been cooking quite intensely. And now what it needs is it needs a slightly gentler simmer. So this is the simmering now that's going to add all the loveliness. Now this is very rich. This is really rich. Now if you were sitting in a restaurant with your pint and your papadum, you really would be getting very excited when the man, the waiter, brings in carts in on the trolley, isn't it? It's usually a trolley, isn't it? That's got all the naan bread sitting on it. And this is now almost perfect. Okay? Yeah, almost perfect. So I'm going to, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just that, what I call that little bit of folding in, and literally just a few minutes. Literally just a few minutes. So this is exactly as you'd want it. And then once I've done that, a little bit of that, I'm going to add the fresh coriander. Now again, you can probably tell from the sound that the addition of the chicken has immediately quietened the whole sizzle. Okay, so this is going to be like a gentle. So this will probably take a few more minutes, just from the fact that the temperature of the pot is now a lot less than it was prior to the addition of the chicken. All right, but it's still looking really nice, and we're just leaving it there. And now I want to initially put half of the coriander in. Okay, so half of the coriander has gone in, and I'm now just gently folding it in, increasing the heat again a little bit. Yeah, it's looking very nice. The flavors are intensifying. What we tend to do in the house is quite often we cook the curry one day in advance, and we let all the flavors infuse for 24 hours, and then you basically devour it. You get your naans or whatever it is, your rice, You must enjoy your little bit of, I don't know, is it lager or is there any particular other drink that you like with it? A glass of white wine maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not really a wine lover with curries, I must admit. I prefer a pint. I prefer a pint. This is Poshnosh, on the other hand, who is extremely careful about her alcoholic intake. Not that she's particularly a law-abiding citizen or anything, but she just likes the taste of shandy. So for her, we make sure there are gallons of lemonade and Sprite around the place so that she can enjoy her shandy when she tucks into her curry. Okay, so this is still going. I'm gonna again just increase the heat slightly because I can tell that it's gonna need, and then what I'll do is I'll just gently, the little piece, I will be able to tell roughly how moist it tastes. So that's a very small piece here. Right, that's a small piece here. The taste is lovely. The taste is lovely, and it's really succulent. Really succulent. So now all we're going to do is I'm reducing heat, and I'm going to have a shower. It's called a coriander shower. Yeah? Coriander shower is taking place. We get hailstones, we get rain. Can you just imagine how wonderful the world would be if we actually had coriander coming from the sky? Coriander everywhere. You'd have a green garden, wouldn't we? Not to worry about it. So, I think that more or less wraps up this particular installment of my Karahi chicken. I hope that you will attempt this. I hope you will love it. I hope you will join me again. And our love affair will continue. Till next time, it's Poshnosh. Wakey wakey, it's Poshnosh here again. I hope you loved the recipe. I hope you loved me, but at worst liked me. So please like, subscribe, and don't forget the bell notifications. Till next time, it's Poshnoshjosh, over and out. So Karahi chicken is now going to be consumed. Just to prove the succulence. That is succulent chicken, okay? That is succulent Karahi chicken. That is a joy. Please make it, enjoy it. This is simply great. I need to eat now. Thank you guys another time.